Well, I dragged myself grunting and groaning to the place that I know is healing. Actually, I've been to several places that I know to be very, very healing. And doing a lot of yoga, stretching. I'm extremely relieved that the medical test showed that my heart is fine. My heart is healed. And I had that question mark, wouldn't you? I mean, anybody would. You have a heart attack roughly 3 years ago now. I, as a in the appraiser of the situation firsthand, I was like, yeah, this is definitely feels very, very, very similar to the heart attack. You know, what I felt like leading up to it in the several days of the knot in between my spine and scapula. In that case, left side. This case, right. Interesting. Seems to be a trend. But yeah, I'm loving the fact that they did help me out with steroids. I'm not on pain meds, but the steroids help. So now I just need to continue to move my body and unload my spine and get back to, you know, I've been thinking about it. I think it's hydration. I think that my body got dehydrated at a time when my upper body muscle was not as much, because I've been hiking a lot, but I wasn't, climbing as much lately, or doing all my upper body stuff that I do for strength to support the spine. So I just think it's very interesting, and I wanted to share this fairly noisy place that is bringing me back into the fold, as it were. A lot of people don't know this. Oh, it's hard to hold the camera with my right hand. I apologize. I'm going to be shooting one-sided because my right arm is still like I have no strength to open it. It's very interesting. I can't open it. So it is. It's fine. It is what it is. And I will heal it. And I'm getting so much support that I am blown away. I'm touched. The things that people have said and suggestions and just, hey, we're still here kind of thing. It helps. Thank you. I am rejuvenated again and again and again by the actions of others when they choose the way that I've always hoped that they would, the kindness, the choice to be loving. That's all I ever wanted anybody to ever do. When you come to a fork in the road, you take the one that's more loving. I've been thinking a lot about last words lately. I even filmed quite a long session in the greenhouse that you may never see. But I'm enjoying the fact that I didn't die. I mean, I know I'm going to go eventually. But my plan is to stick around as long as possible. Based on my original appraisal, I'm about 3 years overdue. Both my parents left the earth at the same age that I was 3 years ago. Something a lot of people might not know. 2 different times because they were different ages, but that's as far as they got. So you can imagine when you're 53, that was like, absolutely terrifying. I think here's a theory. I'm hanging from what is actually called, it's called an ironwood tree. I'm not sure if you've ever seen these beautiful, muscly looking trees, but this is one of my favorite places to hang. And as I continue to work out the situation with the nerve, I have to unload the nerve by hydrating, which I've been drinking more water, and happiness. That helps. And a reasonable dose of the worst tasting prednisone pills. Ugh. They could sugarcoat them, really. I mean, you can't get at them without breaking them. So that's what I'm doing, is healing it. I'm healing it by taking a walk, you know, took an ice bath. Anybody that's taking an ice bath, they're like, yeah. 21 minutes. Melted all the ice. It was a smaller tub situation. But yeah. Hey, you guys remember this place? I paddled a kayak right through there and underneath this big tree. And I've done it many times. The boys have too. That's why, you know, I mean, the house is just up here. And so when people want to come for a hike, assuming that I get this all under control soon, maybe you guys can sign up for family hikes. Decided to kind of focus. I was like, all right, I'll take anybody hiking, skydivers, you know, whatever it is. And it's too wide. So I'm focusing on families. It's what I originally intended, and then I widened it out, and now I'm realizing, no. Families, how you define family is up to you. You don't have to be related to your family, but you have to call them family. And there's a lot of possibilities. You can see the cairns we've built. It's maybe hard to see, but there's stacked rocks. It's called a cairn. You see them on tops of mountains, beautiful places. Similar to the Shinto practice of placing thick ropes to signify the presence of kami, their gods of beauty, if you will, that sort of die into a place or live in a place more accurately, I think. Not my culture exactly. But I find that there's things we can do like that. You just see this spot. This is a special place. No trash, you know? Try not to ruin where you are, and honor where you are, and make it be special. Make it be a healing place. Make spots near you. Yes, this is a good one. There's other good ones. Ooh, that was me trying to film with my right hand. Yeah, that stays down. That was a stunt. Thank you very much. All right, so this, I had to add this. I don't know if anybody's seen this. This is the river crossing that up until now, every time I took skydivers here to hike, you know, after doing training or whatever, we'd go pet the horses and stuff, and then I would let them cross the river here. Which, you know, obviously when it's high like this, it's a little bit more challenging. But with this rope that it's kind of soft a little bit, which I like. I actually enjoy the fact that you can do multiple routes with an elastic. You just have to retract the one that you need, right? So as you change sides, you change which side of the bungee is loaded. But in my present physical situation, I don't want to say condition it, labels it too much baggage. I'm not going to try to cross that today. I am sometimes stupid, but not today. For a second. You like being in the leaves? You like being here in the forest? You like being part of the earth in this moment? With autumn leaves everywhere? Yeah. Me too. Me too. I love this tree. Look at it. It's like an elephant. Isn't that beautiful? I also love all the moss up on this hill. And it's looked like this for a long time. You're a little bit here with me now, which means that more people that didn't have access to this feeling and this, you can almost smell it, I'll bet, right? If you let yourself really immerse yourself in this experience of walking through the forest in the autumn. So if we can imagine a little bit better, I think it'll serve us, because we've gotten pretty good at imagining like what could go wrong. We also need to re-nurture our ability to visualize and create with our curiosity a set of possibilities that are joyful, that are passion-driven based on your unique perspective. Because let's face it, what one person gets excited about, another is like, I don't get it. But that's the whole point. Because if we all did the same thing all the time, how interesting is that? I love this beautiful log that is fallen across the trail a long time ago. And the deer and the people just go, yeah. And the trail remains. And I think that's pretty interesting. That some things require significant improvement and others require subtle modification, and other things require nothing at all, merely acceptance. So if I see trash on the trail, I'm going to pick it up. If I see a pokey plant, I'm going to get it out of the way, to clear the way through the forest. Because this is a trail I created. I've been maintaining it for over a year now. And I also sometimes realize that I overindulge myself in my super ego's desire to fix the forest. And if I'm busy picking up Milwaukee's best cans, I'm not smelling the forest in that moment. And if most of the time I spend not just picking up the garbage, but thinking about, oh, those people, which is a whole layer where you're asserting your own thoughts into something that is unknown. You have no idea if it was the wind that blew it here. Did a pilot throw it out of an airplane? We don't know. So with some of the things you have to sort of accept that you don't know, and therefore you can open up the possibility in your mind of, well, what if things are actually fine? Maybe that person's not so bad. Maybe I misjudge them with too little evidence. Misjudge those people, the plural them. Because apparently it's singular now as well. Okay, whatever. Language evolves. This is so beautiful. And oh, I just was given a wave. When you crest this hill, there's pine trees. And the aroma is staggering, especially at certain times. You know, after a rain, it's very windy right now, so it's blowing it around. The health benefits of smelling trees in the forest in general, clearly established. Physical health benefits, psychological health benefits, tangible improvements that fill in the gaps in our technological society. It's not an either or, people. It's too late to get rid of your phone in most cases, right? So, in the meantime, you don't have to be 50-50 in your balance of technology and being an outdoor human. You can balance it in a way that makes sense to you. But if you get out here more often, a higher percentage of your day, of your week, you just say, I'm going to make this a priority to get out into nature, see things grow, watch clouds move, hear the earth breathe. To be part of Mother Earth is the realization that creates the healing. And that realization, in my personal experience, is that when I go out into nature and I remember the feeling and experience of awe, of beauty, the sensory experience of being in a natural ecosystem that has its innate balance and complexity, I remember that one of the beings of Earth that I hold so highly in my awe is the human beings. And although we do have potential and sometimes the kinetic unfolding of not so niceness, people can be pretty mean. They can be mean, and it is what it is, and you don't have to get it all stuck in your craw. You just have to notice it and let it go and shift your focus to something that's awe-inspiring. Shift your awareness to something that gives you a realization of natural awe of nature in its form unfolding within you. Because the feeling of awe is part of nature. It's not our reaction to it. It's our feeling of vibrational synchronization with our source. Mother Earth is a part of the source of our experience. But regardless of which planet you happen to be born on, you still have to accept that nature is amazing. And since you're part of nature, since the cells of your body operate in a very similar way, well, that bond, that connection to who you are, as a branch of the tree of life. And everything that we create is almost as beautiful. Because I do wish to share this. That's why I do it. I want everybody to remember how much you love being out in nature. Is it coming through? Because it's deliberate. Because I spent so much of my life with the focus on dealing, converting, and alchemizing fear. Fear is a biggie, and it will always be part of all of it. But there is a certain level where it's a little bit more subtle. So the fear of cosmic existence. The existential fear of you going poof, right? That's totally valid. I get it. Especially if you're absolutely sure that the body is who you are and that nothing of you remains afterwards. If that's your perspective, that's what it is. And the natural consequence is, wow, I'm going to do everything I can to fight for life. And that makes you kind of scared, I would imagine. I know, because I've looked through that perspective as a human too. This body is temporary. I mean, it's been fun, right? But it's not gonna last. So how do you resurrect your zeal for life when all you want to do now is keep yourself from dying? It's a big difference, right? You're flying your airplane through a thunderstorm. That's one kind of flying. But the other type is I'm just, free flying. I'm exploring the sky. I'm exploring my aircraft in a way that is going to be expanding my skill, knowledge, experience, right? That's part of being a good pilot. Especially when you're in a thunderstorm and now you got more, badass skills to get yourself through, right? And I think that's the way it works. I think that's how it goes. To put you down, no offense. But sometimes a human being needs to be bilateral. Right? I've noticed that so many of our things that end up making us feel sore afterwards in one way or another are monolateral. Tennis, even your mouse is like over here. Texting is bilateral, so they got you there, except that it's a crumpled ball of tinfoil that used to be a human being, so there's that. Oh. So I do yoga to save my life right now. From this point forward, I made it 57 and a half years with a perfectly good body until a week ago, as far as I knew. But now my physical structure is saying, dude, stay strong or become decrepit and in pain. Here's another thought. By seeing that a human being can become unwell and then well again, repeatedly, through an open-minded healing model, that's what I've been trying to do. I'm not throwing away Western medicine all the way. I think that would be foolhardy in this day and age, unless you wanted to live to 34, 35 years old like we used to do. So I just do my best to kind of listen to my intuition, ask for help, receive it. Right, let it in. That's the hard part. That's the hard part. God, we're so proud. We're so prideful. Human beings are like, no, I'm good. Your arm's off. No, it isn't. No. Do you need any help? No, I'm fine. That's fine. Load of crap. Love wants to do its thing. So put down your pride. Put down your judgment of yourself, of others. And when you're in a position where you need help, accept it. And when you're in a position to render help, give it. We both get to be on both sides of the stick. We just change our roles, we reverse the polarity, and we get to experience the full lesson. Table of contents coming to Earth. Lesson 1 is that. Which means that the path of suffering is not all bad. The path of suffering brings in and summons forth the loving perspective. And when you see the loving perspective, it builds you. It feeds you more of itself. And you become more of it. And the power flows into you. Because you are fighting on the right side of the battle, not hating the other side of the battle, just knowing that you have a job to do and so do they. And by the way, I'm filming with my right hand. So I just figured I'd do one quick pass of the greenhouse. The door's looking good. See the owl up there? I just found him. It doesn't mean anything. So if you guys come visit, so all you gotta do for the lock goes like that. Just go whoop. Not complicated. So right now we have the barrels keeping it warm. Current temperature is 59 degrees. And that's looking good. This is looking good. We have lots of beauty happening in the greenhouse. Lots of growing plants. Ooh, I got something to show you. I'm gonna have the worst hair ever, but I don't care. And I don't think you care either. So check this out. That is a broccoli. It's a broccoli. And it used to be a seed. There's a lot more coming. I have so much to learn about how to do this. But I have learned so much. And I think that's awesome. So look at all this. I think it's one of the nicest crops I've got right here is the clover. The clover has gone nuts. And so that soil will be even better. It's all part of the garden. I think that's an important realization, not just of a gardener, but for a human being. Everything in your life is part of your garden. We have lots and lots and lots of things that we can learn from that concept of recycling everything as much as you possibly can. Confront the stuff that needs to be solved, process it in a way that brings it into a state where you feel as if you're okay with it now. You know? You saw it through a different perspective afterwards, and instead of where you left it when you closed the book on the "this shit sucks" and put it on the shelf. Our favorite book, right? This shit sucks. We love writing in it, don't we? But I think it's wise to not label anything as that anymore. To find those areas that were kind of beneficial in what they yielded. In the long run, all catastrophes are gifts. Everything that we experience can, in retrospect, be a completely different story in how you tell it, because you have a little more light on it, a little more time goes by, and you say, you know, I see your side of the story. I didn't at the time. I was just so mad. I was reading off the script of what an angry person would do when they feel like they're entitled to stab somebody in the heart with the truth. And then we decide, I'm not going to do any more stabbing. Like, ever. At all. To forfeit attack as a means to your perceived safety. Your sense of control comes from your internal dialogue that leads you to experience what you have experienced in a particular way. So what if you were to, like, beginning right now, say, number one, no more hitting. It's done. I'm done. I'm done attacking. And committing in this moment to reaching towards a state of mind that always makes things a lesson of connection, of collaboration that can happen as a result of those connections. That's the next level. But someday you may find that you need to collaborate with people that you might not have otherwise, because of the thousands of programs of our culture that say these are the people you hang out with, and those people, we're just going to talk about them behind their back. That's not awesome. It's the old way. So what if instead you forfeit all that stuff? You say no more judgments. I'm just going to take people based on the actual experiences that I have, and I'm going to do my very best to make sure those experiences go in a collaborative way where we both reach for understanding of the other. To be curious about other people than yourself is what transcends the closed mindset into the open mindset. That is a next step in the process, following and during the healing of the mind. The letting go of judgment, the specifics in which you have recognized that you are... I look ridiculous with these earbuds. Hey, I'm real me. Too tired, too old to give a damn about being perfect all the time. I'm just doing my best. I'm just doing my best just like you are. Okay, some of you aren't doing your best. And the truth is, neither am I. Some of the time, I'm doing my best to be a good person, not be a blemish on the world, but of benefit to it, deliberately. I mean, that's what I've always tried to do personally. And sometimes I just get tired. And rather than judging, when I get my way back eventually, always back into that mindset of well-being, I'm the loving version of me. When I release the judgment that I know what's going on, you're better off just stepping into the space of, oh, well, there's the information, but beyond that, my extrapolation, my conclusions, my stringing of the pearls has the ability to drift into the direction that I choose a little bit. I mean, all creation is a subtle delusion about what will be. It's an illusion that you create in your mind that becomes real. Eventually. Because you had an idea, and then you acted upon it. And when we act upon our ideas with our collaborative relationships with all kinds of people, if you don't judge them and you accept them as they are, and you join with them in a loving feeling of creating something together, of pursuing some improvement to the nature of your personal realities that are overlapping now because of your collaboration, and your powers of creation have just doubled or quadrupled, or much more, especially if you get on the ride of something really meaningful, something that really fills your soul with purpose, that will get you up out of the depths of exhaustion. Purpose is enlivening.